Hey everybody, welcome to the first episode of Home Huddles with Deontay Ash here. I'm Deontay. I'm a real estate agent. I love sports. I'm a football fanatic, basketball fanatic. I just love sports. So I'm gonna start this YouTube channel. Hopefully it picks up. Hopefully it gets some traction. Hopefully everything kind of goes well with it because I really love talking sports and I have a unique eye at looking at sports. I'm not biased at all, not biased. I'm only going to speak facts. If I see someone's playing well, I'm going to tell you about it. If I think someone's playing really bad, I'm also going to tell you about it. There's a lot that I can see sometimes that I'm like, hey, sometimes the commentators they'll try to woo you with how they see the game. And I see it a lot, and I'm not a huge fan of it. So I just want to give my perspective of it from a true fan's point of view. Huge Charger fan, which is great because the Chargers they won today, or they won on Sunday. They beat the Browns 27-10. Commanders beat the Giants 27-22. The Patriots they fall to the Titans. They lose 20-17. The Bears. It was a tough day for the Bears on Sunday. They lost to the Cardinals, 29-9. The Jaguars lose in a close game to the Eagles. They lose 28-23. The Lions they're rolling. The Lions are doing really really well right now. The Lions are they're 7-1. They beat the Packers. They beat them 24-14. The Rams they beat the Seahawks 26-20. The Colts they lose to the Vikings in a primetime game. They lose 21-13. And then the game you guys saw today, it was the Chiefs versus the Buccaneers. It was a really really close game. Went to overtime. It was 30-24. And that game, it was a little unique because you see both teams at their best. I'm gonna have to give Baker a lot of his credit. Baker played really really well tonight. The Browns, it kind of gave me a sour taste in my mouth on him. I really thought he was done. They kept passing him over. They sent him to the Panthers. Wasn't the greatest move. I agree with that. Wasn't the greatest move. They sent him to the Rams. He had the little lightning in a bottle. Had that one really really good game. He played really well. But I think he found the sweet spot with the Buccaneers because the Buccaneers they're just a quarterback away. They're just a quarterback away. They have Chris Godwin. When he comes back, hopefully he can bring a spark back to them. They have Mike Evans. They have the O line. The O line is pretty good. I like Tristan Wirfs. I like Anthony Jensen, or I forget what his name is. I think his name is something Jensen. But Jensen is really good. The defense it can get a little bit of work, but I like Antoine Winfield Jr. I like their defense. Their defense is stout, but the Chiefs are just on another level. Chiefs are on another level, and I'm gonna admit the referees give them a lot of good calls because Jawan Taylor he jumps false starts a lot, and they rarely call it. They'll call it on some games, but I noticed that they usually won't call it. I think the refs they try to they give them a lot of good. They give them biased calls. That's just my opinion. Luckily, I'm not in the NFL to where they can find me for that, which is good. Um, but what I wanted to talk to you guys today about was it was almost like a good idea that I thought I really wanted to share it, and that's why I really wanted to do this episode today because I think that Bill Belichick needs to go and be the head coach of the Eagles, Philadelphia Eagles, because Bill Belichick is a winner. Everyone knows he's a winner. Everyone knows that he's the one of the best coaches, the greatest coaches to ever coach the game. And I think that the Philadelphia Eagles, they are a head coach away. That is my opinion. And I stand by it wholeheartedly because I think Nick Sirianni is a great coach. And I think that he embraces the Philly culture, but there's something missing about him that it doesn't spell out like winner. That they need to get over some type of hump. And I think Jalen Hurts has it in him to win it. He made it to the Super Bowl. You have Saquon. Saquon is I think right now, It's a tie between Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley. They are the top running backs in the league right now. They're the top running backs in the league. So Philadelphia, you have Devontae, you have AJ Brown. Your O line is stout. Your defensive line is stout. You have all those players from Georgia. You have the linebacker. You have Nakobe Dean. You like. I think that if they could just kind of put it all together, I think they can. I think they can definitely make a move on it. They're probably going to need to get some better corners because their cornerbacks can be had. Their cornerbacks are not the greatest. I know Marshawn Lattimore is available. They're potentially thinking about trading him. If they could get him, if they let the Chiefs get Marshawn Lattimore, that'll be the catalyst of who wins the Super Bowl. Whoever can get Marshawn Lattimore between the Eagles and the Eagles and the Chiefs, whoever gets him is that's gonna be the catalyst of who's gonna end up winning the Super Bowl. But I think Bill Belichick will be a really, really good fit for the Philadelphia Eagles. They already have the GM, you have the quarterback, you have the receivers, you have everything needed to win right now. You have Jalen Hurts, he's locked up for like 4 or 5 years. He's in Philly for the long term. So if I'm Howie Roseman, Nick Sirianni, if we don't win it this year, I'm gonna say you're out. That's just me because I think we have to be in win. If you're a Philadelphia fan, I'm a Charger fan, but if you're a Philadelphia fan, you have to be in win now mode. That's how it has to be because you have all of the talent now. It's not going to get better later. You're only going to get if you're going to be winning 10 to 11 games each year, you're not going to get the draft picks to build your team back up. So you have to hope that you're scoring in these drafts. If you're not scoring in these drafts, you're just basically going to be a bottom feeder. And then all of a sudden, you're going to have to keep paying these guys, and you're going to get capped out and you have to sell the whole team and you have to go rebuild. So if I'm Howie Roseman, if we get bounced in the playoffs early, Nick Sirianni, hasta la vista, baby, because we're gonna go get Bill Belichick, and we're gonna pay him whatever he wants. If he wants 150 mil, he's getting 150 million, and we're locking him up for at least 4 to 5 years because I think Bill Belichick's window, he's got if he coaches for the Philadelphia Eagles, he'll definitely beat the record. He'll definitely beat Don Shula's record and you're going to win 2 to 3 Super Bowls in that span. Unless, and this is why I really wanted to make the video because I think that Brock Purdy, because it's either Eagles, Lions, or it's going to be the 49ers. Those are going to be the top teams to make it out of the NFC. So if you're the 49ers, do not pay Brock Purdy $200 million. Let Brock Purdy walk or trade him and either get Joe Burrow if you can. It's definitely a wild card. It's not it won't happen easily, but if you can make it happen, I think you have to try to make that a goal. You have to because you have to get better at the position. You have the 49ers, they have Debo, you have Ayuk, you have Trent Williams. He's only getting older. You have Trent Williams. You have the best middle linebacker in the NFL. You have Fred Warner. You have Nick Bosa. You have all of this talent around you. You have to cultivate it and you have to make it work. Because Kyle Shanahan, you only have 2 years. You only have 2 years because I think John Lynch. If you guys keep getting to the big dance, you guys get to the Super Bowl, and you keep losing, they're only going to look at one person. They're going to say, "Okay, who's the big factor in this?" And they're going to say, "Hey, we're not going to keep cutting the players. They're going to come for Kyle Shanahan, and Kyle Shanahan is one of the greatest coaches. I didn't even mention Christian McCaffrey. You have Christian McCaffrey. You have George. You have Kittle. You have Juszczyk. You have George Kittle. You have Juszczyk. I mean, sky's the limit for them. They have these guys locked up for a really long time. So I want to say capitalize on it because I think you have lightning in a bottle. That's what I think. You guys have lightning in a bottle. 49ers, you have a 2-year plan. So if I were a GM today, if I were the GM of the 49ers, we're not paying Brock Purdy. We're not. We're not going to pay him. And I know a lot of people make a big deal of like we have to pay these quarterbacks, but in my opinion, who says we have to pay a bottom feeder quarterback just because he's the next one up? Tua did not deserve his money. As great as Tua is, Tua did not deserve his money. Trevor Lawrence didn't deserve his money. Dak Prescott, I like Dak. Dak didn't. He doesn't deserve to make $60 million a year because if he's making $60 million a year and he's not a beneficial player. You guys aren't just a quarterback away for the Cowboys. You need a whole lot of other players to make this thing work. And I feel like the Cowboys got a lot worse in the offseason. They didn't get better. They did not get better. And I think you don't have to pay these quarterbacks. I don't think you need to. I think you need to have a solid team. You need to have at least two dominant receivers, elite receivers, elite to really great receivers. You need to have a really good tight end. You need to have a really stout offensive line. You can have if you have at least three, at least elite to great offensive linemen, you're going to be okay. If you have really good tackles, you'll be okay because we can cover up some of these the bad guard play. We can cover it up. If you have a really good defense, you're going to be okay. If you have a really good elite pass rusher, you're going to be okay. So I don't necessarily believe that you have to pay um, an average to good quarterback. You don't have to pay them a ton of money. You can do the Baker effect. Baker is a really good quarterback. He's serviceable. He's going to keep you in games. He's going to probably get you to the playoffs. You don't have to pay them top tier money. Baker got what, 3 years, 100 million. That's good for a Brock Purdy. If he's willing to take that, I recommend you keep him. If he's willing to take average quarterback money, keep him. But I would not pay Brock Purdy 200, $300 million and he's taking up half of your cap. It's not gonna work because now you're gonna lose a Debo, you're gonna lose a Christian McCaffrey, and these are the guys who kind of cover up a lot of Brock Purdy's flaws. Because hey, this is a stretch, and this is why you guys are gonna love me because I could go out there for the 49ers and I could probably go make a couple plays for the 49ers. They're just that good. You have because none of their receivers are selfish. They're all gonna block. George Kittle was the best blocking tight end in the league, one of the best. I could probably go out there and maybe keep hope alive. I could just hand the ball to Christian McCaffrey a couple plays. So and I'm not saying that in a bad way, but it's like Brock Purdy is a definition of the system. He's a system guy. He's a system quarterback, and it's not a bad thing because you can be a system guy and you can be really good. Like you can be a good like Jared Goff. Jared Goff is a system quarterback. He's not Patrick because elite to me, Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. Those are to me that's top tier. That's top tier. Like elite. They don't need nothing else. Joe Burrow used to be in that category, but Joe Burrow's a notch below. He's in tier 2. And I put him in there with like the match because Joe Burrow would be top tier, but he loses a lot of games that he should win. And so I'm gonna put him in a notch below that. I'm gonna put him in tier 2. Tier 2, I got guys like Aaron Rodgers, because just based off his performance back in the day, because right now he's a bottom feeder in this current season. Aaron Rodgers is horrible this year. This year he's pretty horrible, and he made a big deal of getting out of Green Bay. And look at you now. It's exactly what he deserves. But I'll put Aaron Rodgers. I'll put Matt Stafford. I'll put some CJ Stroud. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm a little under the weather today, and I really wanted to get this episode out because I really wanted to talk about Brock Purdy. I really wanted to talk about Bill Belichick. I really think those things should happen because I think it'll definitely help the NFL out because I think Bill Belichick, he's a winner. He's going to win a lot of games. And I think don't pay Brock Purdy because to me, I hate that the NFL keeps really highlighting these quarterbacks who are just really, really average, and they're giving them a lot of attention. And they're like, oh, you need to pay these guys 300, 400 million. You don't have to pay these guys. Like Anthony Richardson, he's not, you don't, like, if he tries to, like, hold you up, Anthony Richardson, you're gone, bro. Like, you're gone because you're not going to win anything. You're not going to win anything. And I don't know why franchises are letting these quarterbacks hold them up if they're not that great. Like, you're barely getting us to the playoffs. You can walk. I will find another good quarterback. I mean, there's a dime a dozen coming in. I'm not paying these quarterbacks if they're just average. You have to either be really, really great or elite. You have to be one of the two. Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes to me are the only really elite quarterbacks because Lamar is great. He's great for regular season, but until he wins in the playoffs, I'm not putting him in that top tier category. You can win MVPs. That's really great. You can win MVPs. But for me and my money, Lamar can get the big payday. He deserves the big payday. We all agree that. But I don't put him because he's not a natural thrower of the football. He's not a natural thrower of the football. If he worked on it and became a natural passer first, and beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, that's the only thing. If he does that, if he could beat Pat Mahomes in the playoffs, he's elite, and I'll probably put him number one, even above Pat. But because Pat is really great. Josh Allen, if he steps out of his own way, he could be he can be at Pat's level because he has the arm and he does it. He's a winner. Like a lot of people don't know this. Josh Allen is a winner. He wins a lot of regular season games. It's just that once he gets to the playoffs, he just can't get over Patrick Mahomes. That's what I think. And Lamar, he's great too, but it doesn't to me it doesn't look aesthetically pleasing when I watch him play because he's not gonna get 300 400 yards as a passer. It's gonna look good because it's like you have Derrick Henry, so he's gonna get a lot of running. He's gonna get a lot of run plays, and then for them, it's more of like an all around team win over like Lamar's carrying us to the finish line. And I mean that's still not bad because you still want to get the dub at the end of the day, but I like to see like a good whole win where the quarterback can throw 200, 300 pass yards, get a couple touchdowns. But then also the ground game can eat too. So Derrick Henry, he could put up 120 and make it look like a really good competitive game. Um, I think either right now to me, my MVP vote, right now, my top three I'm gonna say is gonna be Lamar, Jared Goff, and Josh Allen as quarterback MVP. I think those are gonna be the top ones. But that it's good. This is gonna be it for me today, you guys. I'm not feeling the best. I really wanted to get this episode out because this is my first YouTube video, and I just wanted to put it out because I'm gonna put out really really good content. And it's gonna be not biased, and I feel like it's gonna be what a lot of you guys are already kind of thinking, but I feel like the mainstream kind of guys don't really want to say it. They always want to kind of like go tiptoe around it. They never want to just kind of say what it is. And that's one thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to say everything what it is, like truly what it is. You'll find it on Home and Huddles. Subscribe, comment, beat everything up in the comments. Give me feedback. Give me anything that I need to do to get better. I'm going to be in it for the long haul. I'm going to grind it out. You're gonna get real estate content. You're gonna get football content. You're gonna get some basketball, all sports. If you guys want to hear it, I'll talk about it. So if you guys want me to know baseball, if you guys want me to know soccer, let me know and I will watch it and I will study it because that's one thing that I do really really well is when I'm watching something, I'm gonna give my unbiased opinion. It's gonna be what I'm seeing. Like to me, I'm a Charger fan. Everyone thinks Justin Herbert is the greatest thing to ever play. To me, I'm not a huge fan of Justin Herbert. That's me because he's not a natural passer of the football. He has the arm. He doesn't have touch. He doesn't have finesse. He makes a lot of bonehead decisions. He's a poor man's Josh Allen. He's a poor man's Josh Allen. Justin Herbert's going to throw a lot of turnovers. He's going to make a lot of boneheaded mistakes. He's going to take a lot of sacks, and that's tough. It's tough. And like for me, as a fan, because we've had so many years of Phillip Rivers, that I'm tired of the bull crap with the quarterbacks. I want to just find. I want to get a great quarterback who is elite, who is going to keep us in games, and he's going to win games. And I think Jim Harbaugh's really good. I like that he runs. But yeah, but okay, that's gonna be it for today. I'm gonna end it here because I want to get more. I want to talk to you guys a little bit more, and I want to give you guys more in depth detail on the Chargers. So that'll be it for today. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, Home and Huddles, Ash Family's Home and Huddles. We'll be discussing real estate and we'll be discussing all sports, and even if it's life. If you guys want marriage advice, I'm married. If you guys need any advice, I will definitely beat it up in the comments and we'll talk about it. All right. Thank you guys. Have a good rest of the day. Stay classy, San Diego.